Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Garden State Growing and I am Eric. As you can see, I've got a huge pile of mulch in my driveway that's got to get moved today back into the garden. I'm going to show you why I use mulch, how I use mulch, and how I got all of this for free. Coming up on Garden State Growing. Alright guys, so here we are in my backyard, and as you can see here, I have this plot of land on the other side of my deck. It gets really great sun. Here we are, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I still have sun. It's not going to get blocked for a couple hours. But basically this whole part of the yard has been useless up until now. People put down like cardboard, or they'll go to the store like a Home Depot, and they'll get like construction paper to protect floors while they're doing work on stuff like that. This is an added layer of weed preventer. I'm not going to lay it down because, one, the area that I'm going to try to cover, and I've already covered, is really huge, and that's going to take a lot of that construction paper or cardboard. Two, I haven't really been having that big of a problem with weeds because I put the mulch down and at least like 4, 6, or 8 inches in some areas. The weeds are not going to get through that. I feel confident in just laying down the mulch and not laying down the paper or the cardboard. So I'm going to get my wheelbarrow, I'm going to get my pitchfork, and I'm going to get moving on moving all this mulch. This is not the fun part of the video.
Keep a photograph in which we were in love, caught in your eyes, waiting for the sunrise. I barely even knew who you were. What did you do? I didn't care, 'cause you were perfect, I swear. But somebody told me that it's over. Oh no, it's true. You made me happy for a while. Times when we slept on top of cars. Now I don't know you don't know me too.
So I'm gonna get on with it. I'm gonna let you guys skip the whole boring part. I'm gonna get to work, and I'll take you and I'll show you what this area looks like after I'm done. All right, guys. We're back in my backyard. I've got most of the mulch laid out. At least I've got enough to show you how I use it. It's really not that complicated. I just take wheelbarrows and I lay it out, you know, a couple feet apart, and then every once in a while, every 5th or 6th load, I take a rake and I just rake it out nice and smooth, so I can see any spots that maybe I put it on way too deep, or any spots that are you know, too shallow. So, and then I just level it out. It's really that simple, and that's how I use it. How I plant in it is a different story. You got to remember, and I will say this time and time again, over and over and over again, you don't plant in mulch. And you're saying, well, why did I put it down then? Well, I'll get to the why in a minute. But the thing is plants will not grow in mulch. Into planting, what I'll do is I'm going to rake all the mulch away in the spot where I want to plant. Okay, I raked away a spot on the ground so you can see where the grass is right there. Okay, now by the time today is like March 9th, by the time I come to plant in here, it's going to be, you know, April 5th to April 15th. That's when my last frost date is in this area, but spring does come earlier, so, you know, I'll just wait it out and see. So what I do is I just rake away the dirt, the mulch in the area, and then I'll dig up that one area. That grass will be dead by then, and then I can plant in that area, and then I'll push the mulch back around, not too close to the plant because I don't want to choke off the roots. If I'm doing something like corn or peas or anything, I might just cut a line straight down the mulch and push it away to either side. I'll use a really thin rake, and then I'll do my rows, and I might push it back, or I'll wait for the seedlings to get big enough, and then I'll push it back a little bit. So that's how I use it. Now, before I get into the why I use mulch, I want to show you the condition of this mulch. Now, if this is not premium grade landscaping mulch, I don't know anybody that would want to use this for landscaping. It's kind of ugly looking. It has everything in there. It has pine needles, big sticks, really nice fluffy light stuff that's going to decompose real early. Going to add some nitrogen. You need to have some green with your carbon. You know, the dead brown stuff is your carbon, okay? And your nice green stuff is going to be all your nitrogen and stuff. All right, so this is great for gardening. This is garden mulch. This is brown gold right here, okay? So let's get into the why I use mulch. I guess more importantly, do you have to? No, you absolutely do not have to. But there are good enough reasons that I have experienced that make me want to use mulch all the time. The why is very simple. The first one is it's going to choke out grass and it's going to choke out weeds. I don't want grass. I don't want weeds. I don't like mowing lawn. I like to grow things, not kill things. All right. So at least if you put it 4 to 6, even as heavy as 8 inches down, you're probably going to have at least a much better time weeding than you would if you didn't put down mulch. Another reason why I use it is temperature. Okay, on cold days like this, it is 50 degrees out here, but it's really breezy, so I'm feeling it. It's going to absorb a lot of that heat from the sun, and it's going to help to keep the ground warm and more stable, so you could probably get planting just a little bit sooner. It might only be a week or two, but that little week or two could give you a big jump on the season. Hot summer days, it's going to help insulate your ground cover from the sun, and it's going to help it keep cooler. And that's going to do a big justice for your plants. Your plants can handle a lot of heat. They can handle some stress. You stress out the roots get too much heat, you're going to kill your... Another reason, and this is a really important one, is moisture. Okay, this mulch is going to help trap moisture down in your soil and not let it evaporate as quickly. Okay, so you're not going to have to water your lawns this much. You're going to save a lot of money and a lot of time watering your lawns, and your plants are going to be healthier and happier because of it. Chance came out to join us right now. And last but not least, the final 2 reasons why I use mulch is it's going to decompose. And all of this nutrients that has been gathered in these plants in their lifetimes is going to get recycled into the soil. It's going to help to keep the garden soil fresher, longer. It's going to add nutrients. It's going to add substance to it. The humus is going to break down, okay? And it's going to add to your plants. Now, this doesn't just decompose naturally. Worms aren't going to come up and just start chomping on this wood and break it down. What is going to decompose this mulch is mycorrhizal fungi. Now, if you've ever seen a pile of wood chips after a hot, rainy day, literally within minutes, sometimes you can see huge mushrooms just start popping out. And I love every minute of it. I mean, they might not be the type of mushrooms I want to eat, but the mycorrhizal fungi is really the mushroom organism that's going to make its way through this mulch, okay, colonize it, and start breaking it down to help process the nutrients so your plants can absorb it, okay? The actual mushrooms itself is just the fruit of the mushroom that we either eat or try to get rid of, you know? Okay, so finally, you've made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. You're really chomping at the bit. You want to know, how did I get all this mulch for free? Well, it's a neat little website called Chip Drop. Okay, now I'm not sponsored by them, but I just love them, so I am going to give them a shout out. All right, guys, this is Chip Drop. I'm going to log on to their website, free wood chips from Chip Drop. Eric's account. It's already got me logged in. It's immediately going to ask, start a new request or cancel all requests. I'm going to start a new request. All right, they already have my address in there. All right, so just read this. You won't get any prior notice to delivery. Wood chips will contain lots of leaves and pine needles in them. Each delivery is about 20 cubic yards. You must take the entire dump truck load.
If you want to cancel, you must do it on this website before delivery is on the way. If you request logs, they will be very large. You'll need splitting tools or a chainsaw. We can't move or remove material after it is delivered. I understand. I agree. Now, here they're going to ask you, do you want wood chips? Do you want logs? Or do you want both? I want both. I'm going to confirm it because they're going to say, or, I like them. Here it's going to say, be as detailed as possible about your description where you would like. Now, I suggest, like they have the example, please leave in driveway if you can. If not, can I put it in the street in front of the house? I'm also going to add to this.
So right here, I just quickly added, no need to call me. You have permission to drop it off at my house. A lot of times I can't be reached, so I just want to make sure that they knew. Just come, just drop it off.
Species of wood or wood chips that you absolutely cannot receive. Now, I've heard about some, wood chips being toxic and inhibiting growth of plants, but the reality is yes, there are some tree barks that will do that. Black walnut, I know was one of them. There's a couple more. They don't really grow in this area. I talked to the arborist that delivered them. It's mostly oak and pine that's in there. Plus, it's going to be on the ground for more than 2 weeks. So that's going to take care of whatever chemicals are in the bark. After 2 weeks, it's going to die itself off. Would you like to donate to help the arborists? See, now this is the point where you get to make the decision whether it's free or not. It costs about $20 to drop. A lot of times the arborist has to pay it. But the reality is if you want those wood chips a lot sooner, you can pay it yourself. I always do. It just makes it easier on the arborist. Here, it's going to ask you for your credit card information. Once you do that, it's scheduled. An arborist will either get in touch with you, or if you put specifics, just drop it off and give them a location. They will just drop it off. It is really that easy.
Or some drawbacks, okay? One, you put your name, you put your address, you put your specifications, you say, send, yes, I want chips. You don't know when you're going to get it. It really is going to depend on the area you live in, how many arborists are in your area, because what they do is they contact all the tree cutters and the arborists that are in your area, okay? And they say, hey, we got a location. You want to drop off chips there? If they're close by, if they can, if you're willing, and if the criteria is right, they don't have logs, you don't want logs, they will come and they will drop it off at your house at their convenience. So sometimes it could be 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. I really didn't have that problem. The first time I used Chip Drop, I did have that problem. I didn't get a load because one of the arborists said he was going to drop it off. He clicked that he was dropping it off, and then he couldn't get in contact with me because I was at work, so he didn't drop it off. But as far as Chip Drop was concerned, he dropped it off. So all I did was I went back on the website, I signed up again, and literally within days, this guy Mike, I'm going to try to look up his company so I can give him a little shout out here. He came, he said, hey, I got 15 yards of mulch. Do you want some logs? I said, hell yeah. He says, I'll be there in a couple days, drop it off in your driveway. And he dropped off 15 yards of mulch, and that was great. And that was my start on the other side of the yard. This time, same thing. I went to Chip Drop, and then I called Mike and I said, hey, Mike, I just went on Chip Drop. I just signed myself up. You got another load? He said, hell yeah, I'll be right there. And he came and he dropped them off. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. Okay, another drawback. It might not be the cleanest mulch. You may find plastic bottles from workers throwing, plastic into the chipper or a bag of Doritos or something. And you might find little pieces of plastic that you don't want. But you know what? It's not a lot and it's easy to pick out. I don't care. The mulch is free. I checked online for how much this mulch costs, and at the very, very, very cheapest I could find anywhere local that would drop it off, it was $14 a cubic feet. I mean, a cubic yard. $14 a cubic yard. I'm sorry. I got about 10 cubic yards of mulch for 20 bucks. If you want it free, you can get it free. I don't know. I'm a generous guy. What can I say? So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a little bit more about mulch. I hope Maybe I convinced you to use mulch. You don't have to. It's just something I do. Like I said, these are all from my experience. These are my suggestions. You don't have to do any of this. It's just what I do. So I'm going to get going on getting rid of the rest of that pile. I'm going to finish off this small section, try to get here behind my shed because that just overgrows with weeds and I don't want it. And I want to put a compost pile back there later on in the season, hopefully sooner than later. And I need to get this area and some of that area down there by my other garden. I'm going to show you some of that and maybe some, B-roll stuff. But for now, I'm going to say goodnight. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you do, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, smash that bell icon so you get notifications whenever I put up a new video, and keep on growing. Love you.
They think you're a dog. Some say